Just going to share my screen. Okay, hopefully you see that. I'm gonna let in here. I'll admit them all.
Okay.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the weekly office hours here. Great to see some faces I don't usually see. Sabrina, nice to see you. How you doing?
Hi, Jesse. Good. How are you? I didn't realize it would be the real Jesse. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is like a little behind the scenes. This is cool.
Yeah, exactly. And we got my co-founder here, Kevin, as well. So
Awesome.
Hey,
Everyone's
Sabrina.
here. Hi, Kevin. How's it
Yeah.
going? Yeah, I've watched many
Good.
of your guys' videos, so I feel like I kind of know you guys.
Awesome.
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 Allison, how you doing?
Oh, how are y'all?
Good. Good to
Good.
see
Good.
again new faces here that I don't typically see. So, anyways, we run these every week. Either myself, or sometimes with Kevin, or Kevin himself, or somebody on the team member. We're here to either share something new and answer questions, or just answer questions. And today, I think we're just going to be answering some questions that were submitted here. We've got about half an hour. So if it's really in depth, we're typically going to ask you to probably submit a ticket in and record your screen and show us if you're struggling with anything. Some people just like to hang out and listen and have coffee and learn a little bit more about Pebble. That's cool too. So if you have any questions, whether it's within the platform or anything in general related to land, we're not going to talk about like pricing and choosing counties or anything like that, but we should be able to help give some guidance on some of those things. So we did, I believe, receive some questions. So we're going to go through this first. Or were these? Yeah, I think these are the questions we have. So we'll go through these first, and then we'll take on any other questions you guys might have. So Clara, sorry, so I'm on the laptop today, and I'm usually used to like big screens. Okay, cool. Clara, good to see you here too, as well, Clara. You asked, what type of automations can be set up using Pebble? Are there any applications required? Can data be downloaded from Pebble? Example, total deals, how many in each pipeline, information about the deals. So usually with automations, I think the first thing we usually ask is like, what are you trying to achieve here? Um, because this becomes a really hard question to answer. Like, yeah, we can do automations, but automations, is a very broad term. At the end of the day, like, what are you trying to achieve? And it's something I actually teach in the Dirt Hacker Challenge about, putting together automations with Zapier or whatever it is. It's like, don't build something out until you know you need it, and just focus on running your business. And sometimes I think we're really caught up on some of that. But then again, Claire, you might have something really in depth that you want clarity on, that you want to do. So at a very high level, Zapier is what we integrate with, and with Zapier, you can then tie into a lot of different things and do different things. So I'm actually going to be recording a video soon here with Smarter Contact. I'll give you an example. You may be doing some mass texting, and then while you've qualified that lead inside of Smarter Contact, you want to push that information to Pebble, including all the information that you've recorded on that lead. So that's something you're going to use, something like Zapier for to push all that information through. With launch control, you can push the conversation through. So again, like it really depends, but you did say here, example, total deals, how many in each pipeline, information about the deals. Kevin, any thoughts on these? Again, we don't know what the end goal here, and Clara, if you want to clarify, you can. But any thoughts on?
Yeah, yes. So Zapier is our sort of way to integrate with other platforms. So if you are looking to say, you want to send data from Pebble to a Google Doc, or you want to connect DocuSign or something like that, you can do that. And the way you would do that is through Zapier. Zapier is kind of like the bridge between Pebble and any external application. Um, but as Jesse mentioned, beyond that, it gets rather specific on what exactly you're looking to do, and again, just make sure that the value that you're getting out of that integration is worth the input.
Yeah, totally. I hope that answers. I love Zapier. I think my main question is about automations to do with Pebble and templates and auto. Oh, okay. So follow-ups. Yeah, you got a lot of follow-ups. So let me share my screen. I think I'll tie into and I'll get onto your question, Sabrina. I'm happy to answer that one as well. So let me oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's come into this account here. So we've got our auto follow-up. You can build out your sequences here to follow up. We have 4 ways that you can run automations here, or communication or follow-ups automations. So to do that, all you need to do is hit add plan, and that's going to create an automated follow-up plan. Okay, give it a name, and then you can build out a sequence as long as you'd like. You have the ability to email, text. I'm going to touch on the last one after mailing after, and then call reminders. That'll remind you to call somebody. We can't automatically call you, but it'll remind you to call somebody, or direct mailing. I think this one's really, really powerful. There's no other platform that is going to allow you to do this. You want to follow up with an increased offer. You want to follow up with a reminder. Hey, we spoke, whatever. You want to keep on top of mind there. Mailing is awesome. And yes, it costs money, but it's one piece. What, you're going to send one every few months type of thing, a few cents here and there. It's totally worth it, right? So you can build out your sequences inside of here. So there are definitely a lot here. We don't have sort of templates because everybody runs their land business so differently. So my suggestion is go to something like ChatGPT, tell it about your business and how you want, this, give it as much context about your leads and tell it, hey, I can do an email, I can do a text, I can do a mail, I can do a call reminder. Help me build out a sequence based on some of the most amazing stats and of follow-up out there. And I want it to be a 50-step follow-up sequence or something along those lines. So I do know people who have built, close to 100 follow-up steps, but I just don't see that happening with a lot of people. One thing to note though, once you send a follow-up and they reply you, and comes into Pebble, we will pause that automation. There is a video on this on YouTube, which I do about which I set up for like increased offers. I always think like a lot of people ask me about that, so I'm gonna get Diana to drop that in the chat there. Diana, I feel like we should just make a short link because that gets like asked a lot. Like, hey, I want to send like automated increased offers. So we'll put that in the chat. Cool. I hope that helps, Clara. All right, I want to get over to Sabrina's question. I'm part of the Leah program. Leah is our good friend run by Sumner Healy, a huge support of ours. I just want some overall guidance on using it, adding a deal, organizing information. I'm using a third party send my campaigns. Should I be importing my mailers here first to receive the offer code? So there's a lot to cover here. And Sabrina, I've got the perfect thing for you. On Fridays, I run this. On Friday, just like this, on a Zoom call, just me, you, and maybe a couple others, where we literally do that. We talk about getting campaigns together. I get you to go through that with me. If you're mailing with a different mail house, you're doing your market. Let me know, Sabrina, what kind of marketing method are you using right now?
I'm doing blind offers and I'm sending through Rocket Print.
Wah, 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 wah. Okay.
Right.
So that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So
Uh-huh.
I will go through that. What is it like
Awesome.
on Friday? And I'm not trying to like skip over you, but I feel like we could jump so much more in depth on that call. And Diana's gonna
Yeah.
leave you a join link. It's also for anybody who wants to join this, head over to pebblerei.com. That's our homepage. On the top, it says resources. And then on the left, under that menu, it says live training. You're going to be able to join
Awesome.
that. Now, the one that Diana shared is actually the leads and deal workshop. Diana, I want you to share with her the property or campaign creation. Yeah, even if you just go to the live training link she just gave you there, you'll find that on our homepage. I have the leads and deal workshop, which we learn how to handle our inboxes, which you should join, Sabrina. But the session prior to that is all on bringing in your campaigns, and it's called the import demo session, which she also left the link there too. So just sign up for the
Awesome.
Friday and we'll go through. And I'll go through like, yeah, you're using Rocket Print, great. What is that like? And you're talking about mailer codes. And so at a high level to answer your questions here, you certainly can be using different mail house. You should be importing your mailing inside of Pebble first before you do any marketing with any other third-party services, even including mailing. Why? It's because we'll give you the code. You'll re-export that out to do your mailing. Dinah or Tracy, if you can get the article on mailing with a different mail house, I talk about exactly this, and that can get Sabrina started here, so she doesn't need to wait, 2 more days to talk to me again. Okay.
Awesome.
But
That's perfect, Jesse. Thanks so much.
Also, our success guide walks you through that, Sabrina. So if you haven't gone through the success guide, please go through that. And that's probably where you are probably still quite new to. So yeah, cool. I hope that's
Awesome.
helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, very helpful.
Natalie, is Pebble compatible with Google Forms? Absolutely. Can it connect with my open phone account or launch control? Absolutely. The map isn't showing up when I use the Chrome extension on my browser is the latest version. Okay, let's talk about there's a lot of questions here. Google Forms, I'm assuming you're intaking leads? Yes. And the way that I would do it is probably through Zapier. I'd zap that in to your Pebble inbox email address. So it's in your inbox when somebody submits it in. Or you can also set up an automation inside of your Gmail when you receive a Google Form submission to automate that to that inbox email address. And the inbox email address I'm talking about, if you go to your inbox and you go to settings here, you have this inbox email address. This is an email address we've given you. You can rename it or you can modify it if you'd like with this little pen icon, but you can automate things so it comes in your inbox. So once somebody submits that lead in your inbox, your form, you'll get it right in your inbox. You can qualify that lead and go from there. Okay. Sorry, the next question, I forgot. What was it? You asked here, can't connect with my, can I connect it? So yeah, so launch control, I'm going to give you the mass texting video because I literally hook it up with launch control. You can watch me do that there with open phone. I think I need to get a little bit more clarity. Again, what are we trying to achieve with open phone here? Because that could mean anything. We can't tap in their phone line. That's their phone line. Our phone line's our phone line. I'll just let you know, Natalie, we've got phone lines. It should be a replacement for open phone. Maybe maybe you're not sure about that. I'm not sure. Or let me know if you want to unmute yourself. Natalie, you're more than welcome to chime in here. I love how almost actually everybody attending today has a question submitted. This wasn't like this last week, so I really appreciate all you guys pre-submitting these questions. Or maybe just my team did a really good job to follow up with you guys on this. Okay. Is there any resources on Pebble phone note? Yeah, tons. I don't, I'm gonna get my team to maybe find some articles for you. But to connect the phone number, you just head over to settings here and then to your phone numbers here and add a phone number. And you're gonna choose your area code. 406 is one that I'm familiar with. And then I'll just hit add. And that's a phone number in your account. Now you do need to get A2P verified, but other than that, you can call, text on your mobile phone on here. Yeah, I think it's pretty awesome because everything gets tracked here. All the conversations get tracked against the property and the deal itself. Actually, I should say the deal. You get AI summaries, you get transcriptions. It's pretty awesome. So I hope that's helpful, Natalie. Okay, I'm gonna assume that answers your question. Now, in terms of the Chrome extension, Natalie, let us know when I use the Chrome extension, my browser is the map isn't showing up. I'm not sure because we don't have a map on our Chrome extension, so I'm not sure if I fully get that one. So I use OpenPhone as a callback number when people receive text from my launch control. Is Pebble able to act that way? I use OpenPhone as the callback number. I wouldn't see why not. You would just say, hey, text me or call me back at this number. And a lot of people do that. We have a lot of people using launch control. So I encourage you to watch that video that's or that link that says mass texting above. Yeah, yeah, certainly think so. Although my methodology would be a little bit different. I would just text and converse on there and qualify and then push them over into Pebble and then call them or let them know my number is this number inside of Pebble. So everybody runs a little different, but in that article video, I explained that methodology there. Hopefully that helps, Natalie. Okay, I'm going to keep moving forward. I've got to jump off a little bit earlier in a minute or so, and I'll let I'm sorry, Kevin continue, but I'll answer and I'll help with this
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
For Allison asks,
So
Mhm.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How to get the map to pull up under each property, or what information is needed from the map to pull up? Is there a way to import the property address with the APN? Can tags added? Uh, yeah, Kevin, I guess I'll let you answer this one. This one's pretty technical.
Yeah. Yeah, so the way that that map draws where that property is from the lat long coordinates. So when you are importing your campaign, if you have a latitude and longitude point there, then you will see the pin placed on the map in the correct location. So as long as your list provider gives you a lat long, then that that property will show up. So just make sure that that lat long is set when you import your campaign, and then you should be good.
Yeah. That lat long is really important. Nobody has all like 16 corners of a property. So in order for us to pull that up, that needs to be there. We can't depend on the APN. We can't just depend on that information. When you import your property, Sabrina, there is a way. There's literally a field. It'll ask you for lat and longitude. Most data providers give it to you, except for the one that I know is PropStream. I've talked to them. We've talked to them. A lot of our users. I don't know why they won't give it. It's just lat long. So if you can't find it, you can manually zoom into the property, look for it, and then set the boundary. Okay. That'll set the property there for you. And you can always add it later and later. I was going to say you can always add it later and longitude. Yes, you can always add it later by just searching for that coordinate. Okay. That is the map I'm not able to see on my end. You're not able to.
Hmm.
Is it just blank for you, Natalie? That's strange. I've never heard of that. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That sounds like a computer issue. Do you maybe
Yeah.
have some like ad block or something that might
Could be an
be causing
extension.
issues
Yeah. Could be an extension on the browser
sometimes?
causing that. I'm not sure what browser you're using, probably using Chrome or Safari but they should all work. So yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
go ahead and submit a ticket, and we can take a look at what might be causing that.
yeah, awesome. Is there a way to import the full? Yeah, you can certainly do so with the APN. The APN is required, so you can submit both. The property address, if it's for land, you would add
Yes,
a custom field, right, Kevin?
the address is now available for all properties, so you can
Perfect.
import the address. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep.
I didn't see that option. So I was importing a campaign this morning and under the field mapping, I see an option for property address, but it doesn't give an option for like city, state, zip. So is that the only option is just like street address?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, okay. Should be the full address, but maybe I'm missing something. 1 second.
I can also have a look here. So when we create it, so we're going to bring them through the campaign area. So
The
example.
owner mailing address.
So you're going to type in your county. Typically, you're uploading by the county. If you've got multiple counties, then okay. And then I have to grab my file. One sec, guys.
Looks like we don't take the address, the
If it's
property
land, right?
address in. If it's land, yeah, yes. So if you select not, so we assume if it's land, it doesn't have a physical address. If you change that property type to house or housing, I think is one of the options. Jesse, can you go ahead and do that?
Yeah.
The property type,
Yeah.
change it to housing. Yep.
Trying to get my list of data right now. I don't have one.
Okay.
1 second here. I'm panicking. Okay, 1 sec. 1 sec. I'm almost there. My window's in the way. So hard to work on a small screen. Okay, I'm gonna upload here. So when you choose housing, it's going to have an address. So typically, yeah, land, we don't have address,
There we
but
go. Now
we
you
will
have
have
the
these fields.
property address.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's fine. Like even though they made the land, just go ahead and select housing, and then import them that way.
Are you working on like infill lots? Is that why, Austin?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
for the
Okay.
most part. Some of it's farmland, some of it's infill lots. It's like a mix. So it's
Okay.
helpful to have the address. Some of them have like just the street name, but there's no number.
Here,
But there was just no way to like import that data in these fields. So this is helpful. This
so
gives me that.
here's the catch though. If you are going to bring in vacant land with no address, this is a required field. So it's going
Right.
to be exclusive right now. Kevin, we may want to rethink this down the road here for infill lots and if you're dealing with rural. So
Yeah.
we'll take that into
The other
consideration.
option, like Jesse mentioned, is to create a
Custom
custom field
field. Yeah.
and just call that address if that's, if
Yeah.
it's one of those things that's like not super
Okay.
important for you,
We're-
then a custom field is a good spot.
Yeah, I would say like either yeah, custom field is probably best. So to create a custom field, you'll just come to any property record, scroll down, and you'll just create one here. Typically with land, what do we need? Like legal description and APN. That's you're set to go for the most part. So
Okay. Is there any way to get the custom field added like upon import so I don't have to go through each property after the fact?
no, you just need to come to any single property record and just create it. It'll create it for all properties and properties
Okay,
moving forward. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and then that'll be a field that's visible when you're importing. Yeah.
correct.
Awesome.
Kevin, I'm going to let you run this. I'm going to take off right now, but thanks so much, guys. Sorry I have to get running here, but I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, and let me pull up my notes here. All right, so I'm just going to pull up that last question. I want to make sure that I don't leave anyone unanswered. Second. Okay. Last one, how to check if Pebble integrated number is flagged as spam likely. Now, first of all, you want to go through the A2P registration process. If you haven't done that, that's like first step is to go through that process. There is an article on our knowledge base if you just search for A2P. And we show you all the information that you need. There's a form that you'll fill out on our website where you'll submit your legal information, and then we will get that number A2P verified. What that does is basically every time you make a call, oh, there we go. So Tracy just posted that in the chat, the A2P registration form, if you need that. That will basically that gets all of your legal information and it submits that to our carrier. So the carrier now knows this number is tied to this company. And every time our carrier makes a phone call, it's going to say it's on behalf of your company. And that just helps to verify on the receiving end that everything is good. Now, even with A2P verification, sometimes you can get flagged as spam. This can happen if you're making like multiple, like tons of calls, and especially if you're making like, if you're having multiple callers call from the same number at the same time, that can be a red flag. And Diana shared an article on best practices there. The best way to do it is just call yourself. Just call yourself from Pebble, and it'll show up on your normal phone if it's spam likely. But in the thing is that the carriers don't tell us if your number gets flagged. They're just going to sort of put that little badge on there, not informing us about it. So you'll just have to sort of periodically make a call to yourself and check if everything's good there. But that's sort of the way to do it. Again, with A2P verification, that is going to significantly reduce your likelihood of being flagged.
I'm back, guys. My meeting got delayed here, so I'm going to hang out here. How about the questions? Yep.
Tags to be added to be included in the exported file. Oh, I thought that was something that we added, but maybe I'm wrong. So yes, so currently The export file does not include the tags. I will put that on our list of something to tackle. Let me just verify here.
I'll answer your question there, Clara. To build off of that question, is there a way to update tags when they move to a new pipeline similar to how to add tasks? So I always try to explain on the deal board, these are not properties you're moving through the different pipelines. These are deals. Deals are like a container. They contain a property or multiple properties. Because in a deal, you could be dealing with 3 properties under one seller. So we're not updating, we're not changing anything about that property. So you would still have to go in there and update the tags for the property. So you just go into that deal card, make the changes there for that. I'm not sure exactly what the use case here is. Typically, the stages should serve as enough to understand where that property is, but maybe you're marking that property as like, I don't know, a bad property or something like that. Yeah, just open up the deal card. You'll just toggle right into that property at the top, and then just add your tag there.
And I'll make a note for our development team to include those tags in the property export. That should be relatively easy.
Michelle, I don't know if you got your question answered. Is there a way to automatically remove open tasks when we move it to a specific phase? I don't think that was answered, right, Kevin?
No.
Okay,
No.
so I'm assuming when you're moving a deal to a different stage, you want to mark the tasks as done. No, you're still going to, one of your team members still needs to go in there and mark the tasks as done. Now, if you mean remove, like you're gonna have to like delete it manually, but no, we have a running task list. You probably want to keep track of things. I don't know. Maybe it's just getting really long for yourself, Michelle. I'm not sure, but you're just gonna have to mark it as completed. Mhm. Now you can automatically assign tasks and automatically give it a deadline, and then they turn red if they're overdue. So those kind of things you can do, but removing, sometimes we have to be careful of what we automatically remove too. You don't want to lose sort of that paper trail of what's going on.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so I think there's some outstanding stuff here. We're gonna wait for the whole map issue. I forgot who submitted that. That wasn't showing up on your screen, whoever that was. I'm so sorry. That we're gonna wait on. Um, Sabrina and the rest of you guys, if you want to join me on Friday, the import session, that's a really fun session. I love working with you guys. In fact, when I'm gonna change this up. I'm actually gonna pre-record it, but I'm gonna hang out there to when I take pause, I'm gonna take a pause and answer live rather than every week I like explain the same thing. So I'm actually gonna pre-record it nicely, and then when I pause, I'm just gonna come live and answer questions. I'll probably do a couple answer questions sessions there, but it's about a 20-minute, 30-minute session, really quick, just like this, and you should be well on your way. Okay. And I think that was you, Natalie, that your map wasn't working. Awesome.
Now, for future sessions, Jesse, where can we go to submit these questions?
Yep. No clue. How do these things get
Because I don't
submitted?
have any clue either, so I asked you.
I don't know either. I think it's a good thing that we don't know, so we don't spend
Yeah.
time figuring that out. But Diana somehow collects them, or Tracy somehow collects them from you guys. How did you? I mean, you guys probably know better than us where that came
Yeah,
from.
basically the booking, we collect their questions beforehand so
Oh,
that we
okay.
can.
Okay, on the booking. Got it.
How embarrassing. Yeah. So bring your questions next time as well. And Diana
Yes.
Paul.
So if you
Awesome.
want to come to these every week, we encourage people to just to stay engaged and hear what we're doing. But yeah, that's always a great way to get questions answered. But even if you don't have questions, just to hang out and for us to see you is always fun as well.
Yeah. And by the way, Kevin and I just recorded our latest feature updates, so that'll be on YouTube if you're not subscribed. And you should. That way you can see sort of the new things that we're working on. And lastly, if you're not part of the Dirt Hacker Challenge, I start next week. It's a 3-day webinar with me. It is like an arm and a leg to join at a total of $30 or something like that. But anyways, join me because we're gonna go through a lot of the Pebble stuff. We're gonna go through some of the best practices. I talk about like how to get efficient with channel marketing. If you're doing texting and mailing, how do you handle your leads? All these kind of things. How do you work on, some of the automations through Zapier and some of the things that we do? I go through it in a little more in depth. So if you're not part of it, there's a link there, dirthackerchallenge.com. I hope to see you guys. It's an hour every day from Monday to Wednesday. Other than that, thanks so much, guys, for joining us. I'll see you guys next week. If you're not going to be, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Thanks again,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.